Good evening, everybody. How you guys doing? This is good old Reverend Ordo, and this is the Anonymous Mando'Ade Network. This is the Mandalore of Common Sense. Now I have um, uploaded some shorts earlier today, and I've been kind of having fun with the Genesis little AI thing to make some shorts and whatnot, and using CapCut, which is a really good app. Um, I want to share my response on the Tate brothers, Andrew and Tristan Tate. They were arrested based on the alleged trafficking and rape going back 15 years in Florida. That means it would happen around allegedly happen around 2010 or maybe about morally around 2011 allegedly. Um, Now, this arrest is like Andrew and Tristan Tate getting arrested after Andrew Tate and Greta Thornburg got into an online spat over pizza boxes and shit, which is really just bullshit, man. Right after that, right after that little beef there, Andrew Tate and his brother got arrested by the Romanian government over some crazy shit, and charges were dropped. They're dropped, and now the judge is not allowing the names of the alleged victims or that shit because the judge might be allegedly afraid of Andrew and Tristan Tate tweeting the names, which like, dude, shit. So we all know this is bullshit, really, really bullshit, and okay, right now we are at 49 subs. Okay, 49 subs. So we could go live after we reach 50 subs, and I can go live without using StreamYard. So I have uploaded some shorts, and I'm also doing a live feed here on the Anonymous Mando'Ade Network, and really wanting to just really, really talk about this arrest of alleged crimes that the Tate brothers allegedly did, going back 15 years allegedly. Just absolutely question on what evidence is there evidence there? Is there a witness? Is there but the thing is, something like this, okay? I think something like this would probably be dropped. If y'all remember Julian Assange years ago, he was arrested by the Swedish police over allegations of two women allegedly said that he did things to them which there was no evidence at all. One of them admitted to being paid off, and there is a lot of questions on that right now, and there could be a backlash over this alleged false arrest unless there's any evidence. And is there a kit? Is there a report? How come the report's not being released? How come the names of the witnesses or whoever or the victims do? under the Sixth Amendment, right? You have a right, right? You have a right to confront your accuser, okay? Also, a right to due process, the right to, confront your accuser in the court of law. And because Fourth Amendment, you have the protection under the Fourth Amendment, search and seizures. Fifth Amendment, the right to remain silent, the right to exercise your right to remain silent, your right to an attorney, your right to due process, your right to face your accuser. But the thing is that those rights are being violated, the right to face your accuser, and those rights are being violated. Is there any evidence? Probably not. Will it be dropped? Probably, because the thing is, if there's no evidence of these alleged crimes, right? They're being charged with rape, trafficking, and other shit. Now, one of the charges was child pornography, which, okay, time out. Okay, time out. If this was, I mean, is there any evidence on the computers? Did they take the computers? Did they take their phones? I don't know. But if they didn't, right? So the lawyers would have their phones and their computers, okay, held as evidence, So both defense and prosecutor attorneys would have evidence, both evidence, if there is any evidence, 38 counts, which is pretty much bullshit, but that's just me, But I think there'd be more to be looked at, really. More to be looked at, And in my opinion, this will probably blow over because probably be dropped because unless they have any evidence to extradite them to the UK, which their system is just like ours, in a way. But there needs to be evidence. If there is no evidence at all, well, those charges will most definitely be fucking dropped. Let's see here. Let's see here. Well, again, we're looking at 49 subs. We'll look for 50. So to go live, let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, we need 50 subscribers to go live, so that's okay. Now, in the real world, okay, in the real world, there would need to be evidence. Okay, evidence. Okay, there would need to be evidence of the crime, witnesses, victim. Okay, but the alleged names are being held by a judge. Okay, now who's ever trying to fight to extradite the Tate brothers to the UK, to England. Okay, now the British laws are almost like our laws here in the United States. Now there has to be sufficient evidence. So far, we're not hearing much. at all. We're not really hearing much at all because, either they're withholding, which is against the law, by the way, withholding, because the, the defense has a right to due process, right? Right to face their accuser, right? Okay. Now, if I was in that same boat, I would say, look, I want to face my accuser. I want a fair trial. I want the right to due process according to the Sixth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution of the United States. Now, we all know those rights have been violated before, you know, and but this is more political here. Now, and Tate here, this from the New York Post.
38 new charges in total have now been authorised against Andrew and Tristan Tate, bringing the total number of charges faced to 59. The charges relate to 7 victims spanning a period from 2010 to 2017. Our officers have worked closely with the CPS and those national and international law enforcement agencies as part of this complex investigation. I've now confirmed that officers from the United States have arrested both Andrew and Tristan Tate in relation to this matter overnight, and they have been detained pending ongoing legal proceedings. I want to make it clear there is no.
Now, on that, my question would be, how much, right? Now, this MC News.
Andrew and Tristan Tate are behind bars in Miami, waiting for their possible extradition to the UK. U.S. Marshals arresting controversial social media influencers in Florida this weekend as prosecutors in the United Kingdom announced a slew of new charges, including for rape. Their first reaction is the first reaction that any innocent man or woman would have. It's garbage. The brothers' attorney speaking today outside Miami federal court, where the brothers appeared before a judge in beige and brown prison clothes, shackled at the wrists and ankles as the extradition process begins. We are, of course, objecting to extradition because the Andrew and Tristan are innocent. They've never done nothing wrong. They shouldn't be extradited for crimes they did not commit. The new UK charges are in addition to allegations the brothers are already facing there and in Romania. The Tate brothers gained notoriety for their prominent association with the Manosphere, a hyper-masculine and anti-feminist social media movement widely considered to be misogynistic. Women are the Chikula business ones. Our brothers were temporarily barred from leaving Romania. Then last year, American British nationals returned to the U.S. This weekend, they were on their way to a bare-knuckle boxing event when they were arrested. Crown Prosecution Service said the new charges stem from incidents involving 4 victims. The incidents allegedly occurred between 2010 and 2017.
I want to make it clear there is no place for male violence against women and girls in our society, and we will continue to work tirelessly to support victims.
Well, the thing is, this is probably going to blow over, but the thing is, even the alleged victims have a right even the victims have a right in court as well. It works both ways. The defendants and the victims have a right to due process, but the thing is this political, right? Is this all political, being politicized, because Julian Assange went through this with the Swedish courts, right? The Swedish courts, which 2 women accused him of same thing, but that were dropped because one of them was told that they were paid off to do so. They were paid off by, Democrats, by the DNC or somebody, Andrew and Justin Tate were arrested for right after the Andrew Tate Greta Thunberg online spat over a fucking pizza box, right? Now, it's not against the law for being anti-feminist. It's not against the law of being that. It's not against the law of being misogynist. It's pretty much that it's all political. It's all politicized, all that shit. But where's the evidence? Is there any actual evidence? Probably not. And who are these seven victims? Are they real? Do they exist? And if are they real? Who's paying them off? Are they being paid off? Because 59 charges include what? See, one of them was rape, trafficking, child pornography. Like, really, dude? All this shit would be dropped because the thing is, all of it is being politicized because of the manosphere they got going on. There's nothing wrong defending men. Okay, there's nothing wrong being anti-feminist. It's all that bullshit, man. I would rather have cancer than feminism, honestly. That's my opinion. But the thing is, you got to think real hard of, okay, well, why? Why now all of a sudden you hear about like, oh, they're finding extradition to where? The UK for what? Oh, okay, going back to 2010 and 2017. That's like almost 10 to 15 years ago, right? So 10, 20 years ago, like, dude, um, is there a statute of limitation? Is there a statute of limitation someplace, somewhere, And if there is, right, then somebody's fucking up somewhere, I'm not saying they're innocent or, whatever. Just saying, where's the evidence? Is there any evidence? Is there a kit? Is there a police report? Is there a kit? Right? Now the thing is, if there is none, which they're probably not going to say, this is just equivalent of Eugene Carroll lying about Donald Trump. Now, if you look at Eugene Carroll, even I wouldn't have fucked it. Even I wouldn't fuck this broad, man. Like, holy crap. I would rather be an alcoholic and wear beer goggles than even sitting by this broad, man. Holy crap. Eugene Carroll looks like she fell out of the tree, landing head first in a porcupine's asshole. Ooh, no. Nah, no fucking way. No fucking way. No fucking way. No, I would not. But there's two sides to every story. There's always two sides to every story, and both sides need to be heard. Not just one side. Because somebody somewhere is trying to make it one-sided. Okay, the Tate brothers, they were arrested before, from my knowledge, that they were arrested after the Thornburg spat. That bullshit. But the thing is, like, they were held for a while, and like, dude, like, you're gonna arrest these guys for what? you have nothing. If you're arresting him for some stupid shit, which there's no evidence of, the other ones who are fucking up, the other ones who are could be sued. Now, the UK can be sued if all these charges have no evidence, nothing to prove. If they have absolutely nothing to prove, okay, then the charges will be dropped, okay. Then the UK and the state of Florida could be sued, okay, because 59 charges, bullshit. If the victims were paid off, or alleged victims, if they are, or if there are victims, look, somebody's fucking up somewhere. Okay, somebody is fucking up somewhere, big time. Okay, no bullshit and no and bullshit and no bullshit. Oh, shit. Now the thing is, there has to be evidence. Is there any evidence? Is there anything? A report, a kit, evidence. I know. I mean, something circumstantial. Something legit. And if there is none at all, somebody's fucking up somewhere. Okay, that's what I'm getting at. Somebody's fucking up somewhere badly, because somebody somewhere, who could be a feminist, by the way, I don't know, want to put these guys locked up, and for whatever reason. But if this person who may or may not be behind this shit could be, you know, but unless if there's anything to prove, so far, in my eyes, there's nothing to prove, right? 3 of the charges: rape, trafficking, and PC. No, CP, right? CP. Child pornography. Now, all that shit will be dropped, because the thing is, unless there's any evidence that somebody has to prove, or could, or maybe, or even prove, and if they can't prove it, charges are dropped, the extradition is denied. Because the thing is, if you try to extradite over what charges, and there is none, and it's all based on hearsay bullshit, the charges are dropped, and somebody is going to pay for that bullshit, here or in the UK. And it was all bullshit and fabricated, somebody's going to pay the price. Somebody's going to be paying financially for that bullshit, for the alleged bullshit, So you got to really think here. You got to really think, evidence, right? Report, kit, witnesses, whatever, evidence. Yeah. Now the thing is, you got to realize all of this is for TV, for news, right? And the thing is, if they're being railroaded, somebody's fucking up big time. Okay, somebody's fucking up big time. So, best thing I can say is, if it gets dropped, it may get dropped, but I can't say, because somebody somewhere is really fucking up big time, And I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm speaking through common sense, and I mean, speaking through common sense, and So, I mean, you gotta really open your eyes and ears and have a real critical thinking mind, And I'm not saying they're innocent or guilty. I'm just saying that there has to be evidence. There has to be a report, a kit, you know, that that is some kind of evidence. Okay, but they won't not say it because right now.
And investigatable reports made to us.
Jesse Kurtz joins us now live from Miami. Jesse, you were inside the courtroom today. The lawyers at the case today both find extradition, but they could have uphill battle ahead of this plan. At the end of the day, this could come down to if the states can get the Trump administration on their side. First, the State Department says a U.S. judge will determine if the extradition would be lawful under both U.S. law and an American treaty with the UK in this specific case. But ultimately, the decision rests with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He gives the final sign-off on if someone should be extradited from the United States, which means even if the Tate brothers fail in the justice system, they might be able to find a political solution. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app.
Yeah. I mean, they do this manosphere shit, calling out feminism, and if it's because of that, shit, then the thing is, like, dude, something's wrong here. Something's really fucked up, And who's ever behind it needs to seriously be careful. Lawfully be careful. Lawfully, because yeah. All right, folks. My name is Reverend Ordo, and this has been the Anonymous Mando'Ade Network. If you're new to this channel, like, subscribe, comment below, hit the bell for notification. Always live healthy, happy, and wise. I love you guys. And we'll see you in the next broadcast. Peace out. Godspeed. Buddha bless.